All right, we're back. Before we start number 8, let me just show you that this is going to be equal. To check this, so what I want to do is take the original problem, which was 2 over square root 3 minus 5. So 2 divided by, now I need to put the whole denominator inside parentheses. So I'm going to open parentheses, square root 3. Now I need to close that. I'm going to close the square root and then subtract 5. But then notice that I also have to close the whole denominator. Now we're going to get a decimal. Okay, negative 0.612. Our solution should be the same. Now the solution, I'm going to put the whole numerator in parentheses. So parentheses, negative square root of 3, close the radical, minus 5, close the whole numerator, and now divide by 11. Do we get the same thing? Yes. So this answer that we have is the same value. It's equivalent to this one. What we've done, though, which is good, is that we've taken the radical and now it's no longer in the denominator. All right, let's do number 8. When you do these problems, you just have to be very, very patient. Take your time. So for number 8, 24 divided by 2 plus root 7. We're going to multiply by the conjugate. Now that's 2 minus square root of 7. You got to do the same thing on the top and the bottom of the fraction. Now in the top, we're going to distribute the 24. So 24 times 2 is 48. 24 times negative root 7 is negative 24 square root 7. Over. Now for the denominator, we're going to double distribute. So I'm going to start with this 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times negative root 7 is minus 2 root 7. And then I'm going to distribute the root 7. That's positive 1 root 7 times 2. So that's plus 2 root 7. Now root 7 times negative root 7. A positive times a negative is a negative. Root 7 times 7 is the square root of 49, which is just 7. Okay, now in the numerator, you can't combine that, so I'm just going to copy that. 48 minus 24 square root 7 over. In the denominator, negative 2 root 7 plus 2 root 7. When you add opposites, you get 0. That tells us that we're on the right track, because that's what we want. We want to eliminate the radicals in the denominator. 4 minus 7 is negative 3. Now the last step, when you look at your terms, not the radical term, but the others, 48, 24, 3, all of those are divisible by 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide everything. I do not want the negative in the bottom, so I'm going to divide everything by negative 3. So 48 divided by negative 3 is we're going to get negative 16. Negative 24 divided by negative 3 is positive 8, root 7. And then negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1. But actually, you don't even need to write that, because when you divide by a 1, you get the same thing. So the answer is just negative 16 plus 8 square root 7. Okay, and let's see. So we got one more here. Well, actually, let me check that real quick. So let me do 24 divided by parentheses 2 plus square root 7. Okay, close parentheses. Notice I closed it twice. First one's for the radical, second's for the whole denominator. There's the decimal. And then we have negative 16 plus 8 square root 7. This is our answer. And we get the same thing, so that tells us that we're good, that we've done it correctly. All right, so let's do one more here. Number 9, the square root of 15 divided by the square root of 5 plus the square root of 3. To eliminate the radicals, we're going to multiply by the conjugate, square root 5 minus square root 3. distribute in the top. Now that would be the square root of 15 times 5, which is 75. And then minus square root 15 times root 3 is square root of 45. Now for the denominator, we're going to double distribute. Root 5 times root 5 is going to be 5. Okay, that's square root 25, which is just 5, so no radical. Root 5 times negative root 3 is negative root 15. Root 3 times root 5 is positive root 15. And then square root 3 times negative square root 3, positive times a negative is a negative. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. Now in the denominator, negative root 15 plus root 15 adds up to 0. The square root of 75, okay, if you go through the simplifying process, which I encourage you to do, but I'm going to think of that as 25 times 3, and the square root of 25 is 5. So that would simplify to 5 root 3 minus, this is 9 times 5. The square root of 9 is 3. 3 square root 5. You can do a factor tree and check me, okay? I'm doing this in my head. Over 5 minus 3, which is 2. In this case, 5, 3, and 2, there's no number that goes into those besides 1. So actually, this is a good answer. That's as far as we can take it. So that's it, right there. Okay, I actually want to do one more problem here. So if we flip it onto the back, let's do 10. Okay, we won't worry about number 11. Number 10, the key to these is you just have to be patient. Now I'm trying to get rid of the radical in the denominator, so I'm going to multiply by the conjugate, which is 2 plus root 3. Now I have to do a fancy form of 1, so I also have to multiply the numerator by 2 plus root 3. What makes this tricky is that you're going to have to double distribute in the top and in the bottom. So in the top we get 3 times 2, 6. 3 times root 3 is positive 3 root 3. Now this is minus root 5 times 2, minus 2 root 5. Minus root 5 times root 3 is minus, and I can multiply those, square root 15, over. Now the denominator, again we'll double distribute. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times positive root 3 is plus 2 root 3. Negative root 3 times 2 is negative 2 root 3. Negative root 3 times root 3. Negative times positive is negative. Root 3 times root 3 is square root 9, and the square root of 9 is just 3. Your middle terms in the bottom, they're opposites. That's 0. And in the bottom, 4 minus 3 is 1. So what we get is 6 plus 3 root 3 minus 2 root 5 minus the square root of 15 over 1. And actually, that's as far as we can go. We cannot combine any of the terms in the top. They're not like terms. Square root of 3 is different from square root of 5, which is different from square root of 15. Now you may say, okay, wait a minute, square root of 15, 3 and 5. However, I can't pull anything out of that because they're not perfect squares. It's not the same number. I have no pairs that are the same. So actually, this is our solution. Now you don't have to divide it by 1. I'll just rewrite the top. 6 plus 3 root 3 minus 2 root 5 minus square root 15. That's it. And that is the end of the notes.